Hello again, Privileged Ones and YouTube, and welcome back to the channel for another gameplay episode. Today, we're going to be watching some Paladin action gameplay in the background for your enjoyment, and you will see many abilities and gameplay styles simulating Overwatch gameplay, so many of you will call it an Overwatch clone, and many others will beg to differ and say that it's not a clone. So, which one is it? Well, I'm proud to say I've got the actual facts behind that information and answer, and I will save that for the end of the video, so stay tuned. Today we're going over an honest-to-God player review on the game, since I've gotten my account up to level 16 so far, and I've got to play in every game mode available. It took me a little bit of grinding to play the game and actually get used to it, and give you an honest review on all of the effects and abilities from each of the heroes, to the gameplay itself, to the competitive, and even the PvE side of this game. So let's go over everything right now. Basic gameplay first though. So the gameplay is a multiplayer battle arena style, just like Overwatch, which we will be using Overwatch as an example, but we're going to still do it in a non-biased opinion. So we'll pretend that we don't care about Overwatch, and we'll just give you the facts straight out. Now, in this game, you're going to have a game mode called Siege, where you'll have to capture a point and then push the payload to the enemy side. Or you'll have to stop the enemy from pushing the payload to your side. Ultimately, you're trying to go for 4 points to win a Siege match against the enemy players. The first team to 4 points wins. Now, there's also a thing called push the payload, where you're only going to push the payload, and one of the teams is going to be designated to push the payload to the enemy side, and the other team will have to stop the enemy team from pushing it. If you win 2 rounds of this, then you win the match. And then there's another thing, which is competitive play, which is only unlocked once you level up 5 heroes to level 4 or higher. Now, I've done this, and I've played a little bit of comp, and competitive play seems a little bit thrown together compared to other battle arena style games I've played. And this is even if Overwatch didn't exist. I honestly feel the gameplay in comp is not well put together. It's been thrown together and it doesn't feel finished. And that's my honest to God opinion. So I really don't like the competitive play. Now, for the actual play against players versus player on I would say just a nonchalant gameplay, it's great. You have a mount at the beginning of the game where you can actually take the mount to the objective much faster, allowing a heavy set character that moves really slow, or a fast character to move at the exact same speed, allowing your characters to get there at the exact same time, which is great. It makes for a very fast-paced game, and if you're a parent or just an adult having to go to work and you only have, say, 15 minutes to play a game, I'd recommend playing this over Overwatch. It's much faster paced. You will definitely be able to get 1 to 2 games in before you have to go to work, compared to Overwatch's matches lasting anywhere up to 15 to 30 minutes. So, ultimately, really fast paced game and really well made in the normal casual gameplay mode. Now, in the comp gameplay, as I said before, it just seems really thrown together and I don't enjoy it. But once you get to level 15 in this game, you can actually have a PvE mode where you can take your friends into PvE missions with you and just play against the computer. And those PvE game modes are actually really fun. Now, what game doesn't have PvE game modes? Overwatch. So that is a pro to this game compared to other multiplayer battle arena style games on the market today. There's actually a PvE game mode and you don't have to play against player versus player, which is awesome. Some people don't enjoy that. Now, there is a con to this. You have to get level 15 on your account to be able to play PvE, but ultimately I think a couple hours spent in PvP is completely fine. Once you unlock PvE, then you'll have a fun time no matter what. Now, the art style to this game is really interesting. It's a Unreal Engine 4 style game. It's been designed in Unreal Engine 4. It's got some really nice graphics, and it's an interesting cartoon style art style. And ultimately, I enjoy it. Now, compared to Overwatch, both of them are their own art style, and I will not discredit a game for its art style if it looks amazing. Paladins does look amazing. And they don't have any textual, graphical glitches. So the game's looks don't bug out. The game can pretty much look great the entire time you're playing it, and forever how long you're playing it. If you're playing it for 5 hours, it looks the same as when you started. And I like that. There's no graphical bugs. It doesn't do anything weird to your characters. So if your characters use an ability, there is a bug where sometimes if you're aiming on a weapon that a paladin is holding, sometimes the weapon stays zoomed in even when you let go of the zoom. And all you have to do to fix that is zoom in again and then zoom out. Now, sometimes this can cause an issue against player versus player, but ultimately it's not that bad and that big of a deal. Just press the button again, remove the glitch, and you're good to go. Now, if Overwatch or any other game like Overwatch and this game were out on the market at the exact same time and were both 60 bucks, would I buy this game? Yes, I would buy this game. Again, there's games out on the market that are really good compared to this game, and they're really slow and drawn out game modes. And if I knew right from the get-go that this was a faster paced game, I would buy this one over the Overwatch game first. I would still buy Overwatch eventually, but I would buy this game because I like faster paced game modes. I like faster paced games, and that's just what I enjoy. So if that's something that you enjoy and you want a faster paced game and you want to have a challenge and get bombarded by enemies right when they just died, then definitely pick up Paladins. And a plus side, I will throw it out there, there is a pro to this game. It is free to purchase on the PlayStation Store and Xbox Live, I believe, and PC, I believe. So getting the beta game, it's free. You get to play it and have a good time. Now, again, as I said before, with the correspondence to Overwatch and having a non-biased review, if the game was 60 bucks, I still would purchase it. I would not purchase it for comp. If I'm going to play comp, I'm definitely going to play Overwatch. But as I said before, the comp in this game does seem pretty thrown together. And that, guys, is my honest review. Now, I will talk about the characters a little bit. There are abilities in Paladins that are similar to characters in Overwatch, and you probably witnessed that from this gameplay. Now, the characters are using abilities from multiple heroes from Overwatch thrown into one Paladin on Paladins. This makes for a very unique set of abilities on a character that otherwise wouldn't be found in Overwatch, and I enjoy that. Some differences in opinion would vary, but I like being able to pick up a character that's like Widowmaker and Sombra combined, which is actually the paladin called Kinessa on Paladins. So if you're into that kind of thing and you want to be able to teleport with a Widowmaker, then pick up Kinessa on Paladins and you'll have a blast. It's actually got the Widowmaker sniper rifle / assault rifle with a grenade that it can allow Kinessa to teleport, kind of like the Sombra grenade. So ultimately, really well made heroes / paladins in this game compared to Overwatch as well. They're basically evened out. I mean, yeah, you're taking combined abilities from Overwatch players and throwing them on a paladin, but it's still balanced. It's still really well made. Now, let's truly get into the review on whether or not Paladins is a clone of Overwatch. Because the gameplay you've been watching is probably really similar to Overwatch gameplay. The abilities you've seen the heroes use that I've been talking about is also similar to the abilities on Overwatch, so a lot of you will also probably say that it's an Overwatch clone. I'm actually going to surprise you all and say that it's not a clone. Actually, Paladins was in development well before Overwatch ever actually became an idea. So the history of Paladins, I'll actually go over the information that was directly from the developers at Paladins themselves from Global Agenda. So Global Agenda, a class-based shooter MMO game, was started back in 2005 as the studio's first project. So that's when the history of Paladins first began. The Global Agenda design was inspired by tribes, jetpacks and weapons, City of Heroes, cool abilities, instance PvE missions, and TF2, classes, instance PvP, and weapon types. The initial idea was how to make a City of Heroes type MMO game with real shooting. Global Agenda was released in 2010 and we learned many lessons from it. It had too many features and game modes for us to be able to maintain enough depth in each of them. 5 different PvP modes: AVA, Solo, Co-op, PvE, Raids, and Double Agent. Open world missions were also available, and as well, complex MMO features like crafting, auction systems, AVA world map, and much more was available. Global Agenda was no longer generating much revenue after that. Later expansions were released, like Sandstorm, and we started looking at alternative games to create. One group began working on a new Tribes game, which became Tribes Ascend, while another group started working on the third-person MOBA game, which became Smite. So there you have it. So some of the abilities are actually similar to Smite. In 2012, we started another project named Aurum AU. It was a fantasy-based Global Agenda PvP-like game and the first inspiration for Paladins. You can see from the video link below how the style and cartoony fantasy in Paladins, codename Chaos, pre-production. We experimented with both the Global Agenda sci-fi theme and the Aurum fantasy theme. After a lot of testing, the project team decided to go with a fantasy theme, which, by the way, I would like to agree, looks really good for Paladins. Overwatch was announced. We were shocked and not sure what direction to take. We were already so far along in Paladins, but we didn't want to compete directly against Blizzard. We initially tried to find different ways to differentiate the gameplay, different TTK, different style maps, game modes, different theme, etc. But the feedback from our test states and surveys showed that a small portion of the population felt that was the right way to go, and many other people felt we were going in the wrong direction. With this vision in hand, we decided to take that entire idea, scrap it, and go back to our original idea, and we said screw it with Overwatch, we're doing what we started. We created almost all the Paladins classes and abilities using Global Agenda and Smite as our template, not Overwatch. We used our Aurum fantasy theme from 2012 and Smite characters as placeholders, although some like Grover the Tree just stayed. At the last point, it was pretty much almost impossible for a studio of our size to clone Overwatch in a year. But Overwatch did have some nice features that we decided to incorporate into Paladins: the kill cam, improved lag comp, some Vibridge-like eliminations, and that is how we came to Paladins. Only a couple things are similar to Overwatch in the technical aspect, but all of the game's majority basis was designed in Smite. If a lot of similarities are to Overwatch, then Overwatch and Blizzard did the exact same thing that we did for our game. Paladins was being designed way before Overwatch was, and that's what I'm sticking with. Thank you all so much for enjoying this information and reading this forum, because I'm proud to say that Paladins is truly not an Overwatch clone, like many people in our competitors are stating it to be. Again, these are all facts from our studio, but many people will differentiate the information and try to push it for an Overwatch clone still, even after I give out this information. But please, just know, for our true fans out there for Paladins, we did not intentionally try to create an Overwatch clone. And there you have it, Guardians. There you have it, Paladins. There you have it, Privileged Ones. It is actually not an Overwatch clone. They were designing the game way before Overwatch was even thought to be a thing, and that's actually really impressive to me from the studio. So I gave the honest player review on the game. I got my account up to 16. I'm going to continue playing Overwatch and Paladins because I believe both games in their right mind are really good. I think they're all well made, and honestly, if I'm looking to play a fast-paced game really quick, I'm going to go with Paladins. If I'm looking to play comp and competitive gameplay, I'm going to go over to Overwatch, and that's basically my idea on the whole matter. That's my situation where I'm at, and I hope you all agree with me. Go and download Paladins today. It's free. Hopefully you all enjoy it as much as I have. And also, many of you will probably still continue to play Overwatch and not even come to Paladins. And that's completely fine. Again, both games are amazing in their own right. Thank you all again for watching this gameplay review. This has been Violent Privilege, and I'm out, guys. Oh, hi. PPG isn't here right now, but I guess you enjoyed the content. So over there's the logo you can click on. That will allow you to subscribe. More content up there, and behind the scenes daily content over here on the vlog channel. There you go. Enjoy!